Welcome back, guys, to our channel. This is the Listening Party Season 2, and today we have a brand new show for you guys. Ni Shaman segment. Let's say a brand new show. It's called Listening Party Retro, where we react to songs za kitambo. So kina K-Rap, kina Nameless, Who and Who. Wasetu wa kitambo. We didn't get the chance to have these songs on YouTube at that time. Not at access. So we want to take the opportunity, since we have it now, to appreciate kidogo.
Nani ya gare Azi kitu lazima ahanywe Magoma leo lazima kanase Kajongwe Kamame Kisha baba lazima.
I've actually never watched this video.
Fashion imetoka mbali ya.
What
was this? Ni nini hisi walikuwa wanavaa?
I went our moms waliingiza box na hizo outfits.
Oversize. Yo, look at Nameless. What is fashion?
That your video, Issa, I really like the fact that I really see people having fun. Like, it's really, how will I put it? Not taking a dig at the new age artists, but nimeona a lot of fun in that video without raunchy grinding, without alcohol everywhere, without drugs. Ndio kuna mali anataja fegi, but you won't see it. I really find this really creative.
Yeah, for something that happened like early 2000s, okay. The video vixen industry has changed so much. As in, I'm like, these girls weren't really trying as much as now. Because right now it's like, sweetie, if you ain't shaking it, you ain't got nothing. I'm like, these guys were not even trying. And
there's no body-to-body contact.
Exactly.
The whole video, social distancing on point.
And you still felt it. It's like even when you look at Nonini's songs, because these songs were chafu. Like when we came to realize how chafu some of these songs were, even songs like Kina Juala, I'm like, Juala ndo unaitaja. I'm like, ati what? I'm like, Juala ndo unaitaja. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying. Kumbe.
At times nasikia ngoma za Issa nasikia tu yani. I feel some type of way.
I remember he's the guy who hops on a track and he makes it fire. Even if it's fire, he just makes it more fire.
Sad how people who put out content, they have to pass on so that we are like, yeah.
Even the great international artists.
Yeah,
so much
there's just something that does to people. In one of our episodes, tulifanya reaction video ya Ska. You know Ska wa Kardinali. In a song ya Kovu, anasema sasa najua mnani misuse na najua nikikufikisha nita increase views.
Oh shit, that's deep.
Deep, yeah?
Every time I hear people talk about Issa, I just think about how Nameless feels every time that he lost one of his very good friends and partners in artistry, you know. Yeah, and it's like the ones that like have stayed in this, the ones who also, like someone like Nameless, because he also had something else, like he's an architect, right?
Yeah.
He also had something else going on for him, so it was easy for him to still, it's like, you know.
Kuna ako kaswaga fulani mtu anakuanga naye kirap. Like, to him it was just so natural, like his flow, his topics, what he chooses to rap about, kama ni something big, kama ni something hype. He always has the lyricism to bring it out perfectly. So that's what I remember best about him.
Do you think Issa, if he was still alive, he would have still gotten the same love and recognition that we give him that when he's not around?
Oh my goodness. No.
Right? Because even there's a song, Nyash, is it Now You Know? Alisemanga, ningebaki mkinifanya venye naona mfanya mapioneer.
Guy. I like this retro vibe. I like this. This is about to be one of my favorite segments on Listening Party.
Tumekuja kupati DJ hebu weka traki tukule happy halafu tufungue sakafu sababu
inapamba inashika ukiachilia mahewa maze boom boom bam.
I think this is the first time nimesikia amesema kula za kiukamba. I don't think I ever had that like.
What did you think he used to say?
I think ilikuwa naimba vitu zangu. I'm not quite sure, but I am sure sikuwahi sema kula za kiukamba.
The fact that such a thing is still it's inbred in me. What's the proper grammar? Like it's still inbred in me right now in my 20s. And like I feel like that's it. Because for me, I don't know if the music that I'm listening to some of the artists now would be the kind that I would be celebrating, you know, when I'm like hitting my early 40s and stuff like that. Simply because I feel like I could relate more Oh my God. I could relate more to what their creative process was like as opposed to now. Right now, like I think I'd mentioned before, like how when you're saying how Issa, he just did this thing. It's like these artists created what they wanted to create, and the audience adapted to it, and they were like, you know what, this is what. It's like what Shinsky is doing now. Shinsky was relevant then, akapotea,
Come back.
akapotea, akarudi, and he's still, you know, like watu wake wanamfuata the way he comes because he's allowed himself to just be himself from the get-go.
The other thing, they used to have an amazing chemistry with Nameless.
Right. It's like, it's nice to see bromance on another level. Now, I get sad every time I think Nameless now has to
Live with that.
You know, at least he has Wahoo, you know. Someone here met Wanambali in terms of music as well.
By the way, if you don't know what happened to Issa's stories exactly, you need to check out our YouTube channel called Cleaning the Airways by a guy called Richard Njao. He likes interviews legends. So he did an episode with Nameless, and Nameless narrated the whole story of how Issa died. Yes, we know it's an accident, but when he explains it, man.
This song is about to get me in my feels. I mean, it always gets me in my feels. I don't skip Bomba Train. I still haven't answered what my favorite in this song is because I can't. There's there's Bomba Train. It's like how alikuwa akihope too kwa track. Like I said, that it's like he used to hope on any track and he just makes it, you know. I told you every time I just see Nameless, and Issa, I'm just sad for him a little.
Nameless was older than Issa, and the mom knew Nameless. So here they talk travel. The mom was like, "Take care of my son, make sure Rudy." So you can imagine going, and then you know he doesn't make it back. Imagine explaining that to the mother, like, "Yeah, this happened." Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Talia Oyando.
What about Talia?
That's her voice.
Oh. Wait, for real? Do you know? I honestly, I'm embarrassed for myself that I didn't know that. I knew her from so many other. Okay, that video has gotten me in my feels. I don't know why you've done this to me.
Talia, tell me why you stopped singing, please. But I guess Kitambo, there was so much emphasis on creativity because even when you mentioned that video, your video ni all black. Like they just took their time to be creative because what they could do post-production was not that much. So you really have to work your magic on things.
Ngoma za siku hizi siwezi lyrics hazishikangi kwa akili venye hizo zinashika.
But you know why?
Sijui kwa nini.
As Karrl was sitting alikuwa anasema, these guys were all about the art. There was a style to writing their music. Like even when you hear them talking about, and if there's a guy who I really hope one day get his flowers is Lucas from Ogopa DJ. Three-quarter of these artists we are talking about would be nothing without Lucas.
Personally, I think I listen to songs because of like the older siblings, like anyone. That was their go-to. Anything mkipewa ati you're doing chores, mnawasha nyumba. Saturdays kwa kuosha nyumba, ndio hiyo. I remember we even used to put speakers in mchiki venye hizi zinaitwaje? Kibuyus. Then you chuck and then you put like that's how I remember like Kenyan music back then as just it was just that thing that we mentioned earlier about how it's like this song was his time was just kuna mahali hapo amesema naweza pata puncture anytime soon so naenda shegari pole pole.
And then as you said, siwezi taka kufa bila nyinyi kujua.
You know, the people who are brought in your lives just to make you learn certain things and they just leave. It's like what he did to the music industry. He came, he showed us how it should be done. God was like, okay guys, you've had enough. Time to go now.
22 years old.
You know, that is so young. To think, as in 22 is where life begins for guys.
Like angekuwa hata angekuwa kampo bado, unajua hivyo?
He died only 3 days after my birthday, and I really remember it because the first time I heard the news, it was on Kiss, Top 7 at 7. I can't remember who was the host at that time, but upon the news broke to me, and I remember, because your time now you to discover music, now I'm understanding, like, this artist, I like this artist, I like this about him, napenda genge, you know time naelewa music, then boom, he's gone.
This is the other thing about Issa that I love. Alishika bro wake mkono mapema sana. So you can imagine Issa was 22 and he was the older brother. na bro wake alikuwa kama hype wake. Every event I don't think there's brother ni event
Even
ya
in this
kwenda,
video you can see
yeah,
in the
bro wake
concert.
ndo alikuwa hype, yeye ndo alikuwa anamsaidia na ana hype, so I can't imagine how that would be like him taking over the mantle.
I think the shelf life of a song depends more on the fans than it is on the artist.
Ngoma Festival was literally those guys, like Nameless came on stage, as in the Jumas that we've not seen in a long time, you know, as in it was such a beautiful event. It took me back to the childhood that was as is, you know. I feel like music should do that to you. It should be able to take you to a place and time and just a feeling that you had then.
Again, we are lucky. We are now in an age of alternative media. You see, like listening party, this is an alternative media.
Right, where people actually get to discover people's songs.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to wait for like keys. You know, Kitambo, if your song is not played on keys, then you're
That's
nothing.
it, exactly.
If your song is not played on Capitol, you are nothing. So, but these days, you can go on YouTube. There are rappers who are famous on SoundCloud alone, and they're okay with that. There are people who are famous on YouTube, and
they
cool.
just go with it.
Instagram, cool.
So, I think that's the one thing I wish our artists would actually understand, that as long as you have your scope of your listeners somewhere, just go with it, because you're not doing it for, you know.
As a generation, millennials, we are going through so much. Like hizo siku, they were the good days. They were so good to us. Like hizo siku kizikumbuka, like hiyo ngoma old school ikitokea, it makes you feel some kind of way. And I think it's not just because it's a good song, but because it takes you back to where
it takes you to a time and place, you know.
The other thing I wish we can do more is we can have more concerts. You were speaking about Ngoma Festival. I think we need to have more of that. Any event unaweza enda DJ hata asikue.
Right? I know. Yes. For sure.
Akuje tu. Anakuja tu kidogo anatuwekea mic. Aache tu yani, let the spirit take us. Let the spirit.
Kwanza that concert they were like ati watu wa 80s, watu wa 90s walistop hapo. They didn't even continue. It's like 60s, ilikuwa 70s, 80s, 90s walistop hapo. Because they didn't want to continue because they knew who's here. As in, it's people who, you know.
True testament to the millennials for supporting the music. Unajua genge imetoka mbali sana, and I think support yenye Wakenya wameishow, it might not reflect commercially on our artists, but we really support their craft.
I really wish it.
I just think pia kuna kitu wasanii wa siku hizi wana missing kidogo tu. Like venye Karrl alikuwa amesema, wasanii wa kitambo they were able to they made soundtracks to our childhood.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like you can replace memories with those songs in them.
Like kuna ngoma fulani you can tag them to the beat. We all have memories when unapashuluna kidogo at the beat. And in your time you unaifanya illegally because you're not supposed to be watching the beat. So lakini siku hizi I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, like that thing when you mentioned how it's more about the song, it's not even the artist. I don't know how you put it. But it's like the artists right now have been very MIA. Kama tu Jimwat. As in, ametulia tu. It's not like the way Nameless and Shinsky and Joakali and Onini, they're still, you know, making waves. People like Jim, hata wale wimbe under 18 mahali, to people our age, wanarukia tu hiyo song mara hiyo, you know. Sikupei kitu kidogo, as in, you know, as in that kind of thing. And no matter where the artist is, the fans are still very loyal to what that artist brought to them. And that's just how music should be, period. I hope every artist right now is listening to that. I'm glad we had such beautiful people to show us what beautiful music is. We always compare to that.
We love you, sister.
Reminisce.